Before we dive in, check the link in the description if you want exclusive Timelines members-only videos you won't find on YouTube. All on our Patreon. The twin moons hang over the desert like watching eyes. In the slave quarters attached to Watto's junkyard, a small boy sleeps on a rough mat. Anakin Skywalker, 9 years old, blonde hair, sun-darkened skin, slave owned by a Toydarian junk dealer. He dreams. The death. Cold. Not the cold of Tatooine's desert night. The cold of death leaving him. Luke's face. Young. Hopeful. Tears streaming. Father, please. The mask coming off. Scarred face beneath. Burned. Ruined. But human. You were right about me. Tell your sister you were right. Breathing stops. The Force embraces him. Then, nothing. The awakening. Gasping. Small lungs heaving. Air flooding in. Too much. Too fast. No respirator regulating it. Rough cloth against skin that should be cybernetic but isn't. The acrid smell of Tatooine sand and machine oil instead of the filtered air of his suit. No. No. Darth Vader's consciousness slams into the 9-year-old body like a star destroyer colliding with an asteroid. Everything is wrong. No breathing apparatus. No armor. No pain modulators. No mechanical limbs. Just flesh. Weak. Small. Organic. Child flesh. Anakin, no, Vader. Sits bolt upright on the sleeping mat. His hands fly to his face. Small hands, smooth skin. No scars. No burns. He touches his chest. Feels his heartbeat. Organic. Whole. And beneath the skin, deep in his chest cavity, a faint mechanical beeping. The transmitter. The slave chip. The bomb recognition floods through him. Memories crashing like waves. This hovel. This mat. This life. He's 9 years old again. He's a slave again. Vader's mind. 45 years of memories and trauma and power and death. Trapped in a child's body. For a long moment, he cannot move. Cannot think. Just rage. Pure. Incandescent. The rage of a Sith Lord who conquered galaxies. Who burned the Jedi Temple. Who served an emperor for 23 years. Reduced to a slave child again. But then, cold clarity cuts through the rage like a blade. He has knowledge. He knows what comes next. Qui-Gon Jinn. The podrace. The Jedi Temple. Palpatine's grooming. Padmé's death. Everything. He knows how to build the suit that kept Vader alive. He knows cybernetics, systems, engineering. He can disable a slave chip. Vader's eyes, Anakin's eyes open in the darkness. They burn yellow. A sound from across the room. Movement. Ani. Shmi Skywalker. Alive. Young. 33 years old. In Vader's timeline, she died screaming in a Tusken camp while he was forbidden by the Jedi to help her. She sits up on her own mat. Concern in her voice. Are you all right? I heard you gasp. Vader looks at her. For one moment when she sees his eyes, yellow, ancient, wrong, she flinches. Then he smiles. It's a controlled smile. Too adult. Too measured. I'm fine, Mom. Just a bad dream. His voice is a child's voice. But the cadence is wrong. The tone too formal. Shmi stares at him for a long moment. Then, all right, go back to sleep. But she doesn't. She watches him in the darkness. Because for just a moment, something ancient and terrible looked back at her from her son's face. Vader lies back down, closes his eyes. His mind is already working. The chip. The surgery. 4 hours until dawn, Vader moves silently through Watto's workshop. The junk dealer is asleep in his quarters above the shop, snoring, oblivious. Vader gathers tools with the precision of someone who has done this 1,000 times. A diagnostic scanner, built from podracer sensor components in minutes. Adult knowledge applied to scrap parts. Makeshift surgical tools from the workshop. Magnifying lens. Tiny manipulator arms salvaged from a protocol droid repair kit. Medical supplies from Shmi's meager first aid kit. He works in silence. No wasted motion. The scanner activates. He runs it over his own small chest. There, near his heart, a small object. The slave transmitter chip. Dual-purpose device. Tracker broadcasting his location to Watto's handheld receiver. An explosive charge. Small but lethal. If he moves beyond range of Watto's transmitter, the chip detonates. Instant death. In the original timeline, young Anakin tried for years to build a scanner to locate his chip. Never succeeded. But Vader knows exactly what he's looking for. He cannot remove the chip. Any attempt to extract it would trigger the detonation mechanism. Instead, microscopic force manipulation combined with mechanical genius. He uses the tiny tools, guided by the Force with the precision of 45 years of experience, to access the chip's internal circuitry. The detonator is elegant, simple. A pressure trigger connected to the tracking signal. Break the connection between tracker and explosive. Leave both intact. The bomb becomes a paperweight. It would take a normal person years to develop this skill. It takes Vader 4 hours. The Force flows through his child-sized fingers like water through channels he's carved 1,000 times. Where young Anakin fumbled with instinct, Vader commands with cold mastery. Each circuit, each wire, each pressure point. He severs the detonator circuit. Leaves the tracker active. Tests it. The beeping continues. Watto's receiver will still show him as present, but the explosive is dead. Vader exhales slowly. Looks at his small hands. I rebuilt myself as a machine once. I can dismantle these toys. Then, the hard part. His mother. Shmi's surgery. He finds her sleeping mat. Kneels beside her. Uses the scanner. Locates her chip. Near her spine. Designed for paralysis first, then death. More difficult than his own. He can't have her wake mid-surgery. Vader extends his hand over her sleeping form. The Force suggestion is gentle, deep, keeping her in dreamless sleep. His other hand begins the work. The manipulator arms. The tools. The microscopic telekinesis. Sweat beads on his child's forehead. This body isn't built for this level of sustained Force use. But he's Darth Vader. He's endured worse than physical strain. Memories flash as he works. His own cybernetic surgery after Mustafar. Palpatine's droids cutting into his burned flesh. Rebuilding him as a machine. The agony. I won't let them hurt her again. Not Shmi. Not this time. 30 minutes of absolute concentration. The circuit severs. Her chip is disabled. Tracker active. Explosive dead. He places a tiny bandage over the entry point. Uses force healing. A technique he learned late, too late, to prevent infection. Steps back. Shmi sleeps peacefully. Unaware that her son just freed her, Vader looks at her face, remembers her death. The Tusken camp. Her last words. A whispered promise in the darkness. I'll keep you safe this time. I swear it. The dawn. Twin suns rise over Mos Espa. Shmi wakes, notices the small bandage on her back. Ani, what's this? Vader, already awake, dressed, calm. You had a scrape, Mom. I put a bandage on it while you were sleeping. She's suspicious, tired. But she has to prepare for the day. Watto will be awake soon, demanding, cruel. She lets it go, but she watches her son carefully. There's something different about him, something in his eyes. Final scene. Vader stands outside the hovel as the suns climb higher. The chips are disabled. Still broadcasting. Watto thinks they're working. But they're not. Tomorrow, Watto will raise his hand to strike Anakin for the last time. Vader's small hands clench into fists. His eyes burn yellow in the morning light. Absolutely still. Absolutely cold. Planning murder. The child who once dreamed of freedom is gone. In his place sits a dark lord of the Sith. And he is patient. And he is cold. And he is ready. Morning. Watto's junk shop. One day after the surgery. Business as usual. Watto flutters through his shop on translucent wings. Toydarian. Blue skin. Potbelly. Mean eyes. He berates Shmi for imaginary mistakes. This shelf is dusty. You call this clean? Orders Anakin to scrub the floors. Move faster, boy. You think I pay you to dawdle. He doesn't pay them. They're slaves. Small cruelties. Everyday abuse. Watto reaches for a tool. Heavy wrench. Anakin hasn't responded quickly enough to an order. Deliberately slow. Testing. Watto's face twists in anger. He's done this dozens of times before. Raises the wrench to strike the child. The hand stops, frozen in midair. Watto's bulbous eyes bulge. He can't move. Can't breathe. Something invisible is wrapped around his throat. Squeezing. Did you know, says the small boy in a voice too old for his throat, That I've killed more Toydarians than you've owned slaves? It's not true. Vader killed 2 Toydarians in his entire life. But Watto doesn't know that. The terror in his bulging eyes is exquisite. You're going to put down the wrench, Anakin continues, voice emotionless. Clinical. The wrench clatters to the floor. Then you're going to write a document freeing my mother and me. Watto tries to speak. Can't. The Force grip tightens just slightly. Then you're going to give me every credit you own. Pause. Yellow eyes gleaming. Then you're going to die. The death. Not quick. Vader doesn't kill him quickly. First, the documents. Watto's hand, controlled by the Force like a puppet, writes out manumission papers. Legal freedom for Shmi and Anakin Skywalker. Signs them. Official. Second, the credits. Watto's entire savings. Substantial. The junk dealer was successful. All transferred to a secure account Vader sets up in minutes using Watto's terminal. Third, the confession. Tell me, Vader says, about every slave you've beaten, every child you've broken. Watto, terrified. The Force grip loose enough for speech babbles. Confesses. Years of cruelty spilling out. Vader listens, emotionless. Finally, this is for every slave you've beaten, every child you've broken, every time you thought yourself a king because you owned flesh. Force crush. Slow. Watto's body crumples, bones snapping, organs rupturing. The Toydarian dies screaming. Vader stands over the corpse. Feels nothing. He's killed thousands. What's one more slaver? The aftermath. Shmi is not present. Vader sent her on an errand earlier. Mom, can you go to the market? Get fresh parts for the speeder repair. Take your time. She was suspicious, but obeyed. When she returns, Anakin is waiting outside the shop. Clean. Calm. Carrying a small bag of credits and salvage. We're leaving, Mom. Pack everything important. Ani, what did you... Don't go in there. His voice is absolute. Command, not request. We don't have time. Shmi looks at her son, 9 years old, eyes ancient, and she obeys without question. Because something in those eyes tells her, this is not negotiable. The march. They move through Mos Espa. Word is already spreading. Watto is dead. The slave boy killed him. Impossible. I saw the body. Vader knows exactly what he's doing. Letting the word spread. Reputation management. Fear is economical. Fear is effective. A reputation for overwhelming force means less force needed in the future. He ruled an empire through fear. He can rule Mos Espa the same way. They walk toward Gardulla's palace. Shmi, Ani, where are we going? To see someone who used to own us. Gardulla? Why would we? Because her enforcers will come looking. Rather than wait, I'm going to them. She tries to argue. He doesn't listen. In the streets, people stare. A slave child and his mother, walking openly. Free. 3 of Gardulla's enforcers spot them. Large men. Armed. Brutal. Skywalkers. The Hutt wants to know why her former slave killed his owner. Anakin looks up at them. Small child. No fear. Take me to her. I'll tell her myself. The enforcers exchange glances. This is unusual. But orders are orders. They escort Anakin and Shmi through back alleys to Gardulla's compound. A crowd gathers, sensing something is happening. Word spreads faster. The slave child killed Watto. Now he's going to Gardulla? He's insane. Vader walks like he's marching to a briefing, hands behind his back. Perfect posture. The enforcers lead. Shmi follows, terrified, whispering warnings. Anakin silent, cold, calculating. Gardulla, the Hutt's throne room. Opulent. Expensive. Hutt luxury. Tapestries, sculptures, exotic creatures in cages, and in the center, on a massive throne, Gardulla the Hutt. Enormous, ancient, powerful. Crime lord, slave trader, member of the Grand Hutt Council. Around her, a dozen armed guards. Vibro axes, blasters, professional killers, sycophants, servants, slaves. Gardulla sees Anakin enter and laughs. Her voice booms through a translator droid. Little Skywalker, I lost you in a bet to that fool Watto. And look what trouble you've caused. She shifts her massive bulk, amused. Should I thank Watto for dying so I can reclaim you? Anakin looks up at her. Tiny figure in a vast room. No. Silence. No one says no to a hut that simply... Gardula's amusement fades. No? Laughs, you have no power here, slave child. I could have you fed to my... You have 12 guards. Anakin interrupts. Voice calm. Adult. Clinical. They're all about to die. The room freezes. Then you're going to sign over all your criminal operations to me, including this palace. Gasps. Disbelief. Then you're going to tell me where you keep your wealth. Gardula stares. Is this child insane? Then you're going to die. Pause. I've killed huts before. I know where your nerve clusters are. Gardula's face twists in rage. Kill the child. The slaughter. 12 guards, blasters and vibroblades. They fire. Blaster bolts streak toward the small boy and stop. Frozen in midair, inches from his face. Force barrier, straining his young body, but holding. Anakin doesn't move his hands, doesn't flinch. The bolts fall harmlessly to the floor. Then, systematic execution. First 4 guards, windpipes crushed. Invisible hands squeezing. They drop, gasping, dying. Next 3. Necks snapped. Visible force throws slamming them into walls. Bodies crumple. Remaining 5 lifted into the air, held, then slammed into the ground with bone-shattering force. 30 seconds. 12 professional killers. Dead. The throne room is silent, except for sobbing slaves and the wet sounds of dying men. Vader hasn't moved from his position. Small boy. Hands at his sides. Eyes burning yellow. Gardula's end. The hut tries to slither away, massive bulk undulating toward a side exit. Anakin walks forward. Slowly. You owned my mother. You beat her. You sold her like property. Gardula turns, terrified. The Neimoidian Council will. I don't care about Neimoidian politics. I don't care about hut space law. I don't care about the Grand Council. Force choke begins. Gardula's massive body thrashes. Tries to break free. Won't work. Vader once choked admirals across star systems via hologram. A hut in the same room? Child's play. Tell me where the wealth is. Gardula resists. Tries to hold out. Vader applies pain. Force lightning. Small bursts. Precise. Not enough to kill. Just enough to hurt. Gardula breaks. Screams coordinates. Vault combinations. Off-world account codes. Everything. Thank you, Vader says. The crushing finishes. Gardula the Hutt, powerful crime lord, member of the Grand Council, enslaver of thousands, dies choking on the floor of her own throne room. Killed by a 9-year-old boy. After. The throne room. Silent. Slaves sobbing. Sycophants fled. Bodies everywhere. Anakin turns to address the room. His voice carries. Clear. Absolute. Anyone who serves me eats. Anyone who betrays me dies. Anyone who betrays me dies. Anyone who betrays me dies. Anyone who tells Jabba about this before I'm ready will be found. He walks to Gardula's throne, climbs up, sits. Tiny child on a massive seat, legs dangling. Get me the vault. Evening. Consolidation. The wealth is substantial, enough to buy starships. Spice. Contraband, enormous value on the black market. Weapons cache. Blasters, grenades, vibroblades, thermal detonators. Data pads, network contacts, blackmail material, account access. Vader works through the night. Immediate actions. Frees every slave in Gardula's operation. Offers them jobs at double the normal rate for freed labor. Instant loyalty. Keeps Gardula's most ruthless enforcers. The ones who didn't run. The ones who respect power. They fear him now. Good. Begins retrofitting the palace. Security upgrades using his knowledge of Imperial systems. Surveillance. Escape routes. Creates separate, secure quarters for Shmi. Furthest from danger. Most protected. Shmi's scene. Evening. Private moment. Shmi finds Anakin alone in what was Gardula's command center. Now his. Ani, what are you? He looks at her, and for a moment the mask cracks. Genuine emotion breaks through. His voice cracks slightly. I'm your son. Mom. Pause. I'm also something else. Someone who's seen terrible things, done terrible things. His hands shake. I died, and I came back, and I won't let anyone hurt you again. Ever. Shmi approaches slowly. I'm scared of you. I know. He looks up at her. 9-year-old face, ancient eyes. I'm scared of me too sometimes, but I'll never hurt you. That's the only thing I'm sure of. She holds him. Small boy crying in his mother's arms. The yellow fades from his eyes, temporarily, replaced by blue, just for a moment. Her son. Not the monster. Then he pulls away. Wipes his eyes. We have work to do. Chapter end. Night falls on Mos Espa. Word spreading through the underworld like wildfire. A slave child killed a Hutt. Impossible. Unthinkable. True. Anakin stands alone on the palace balcony, looking at stars. Internal monologue. Palpatine doesn't even know I exist yet. But he will. When I'm ready. I spent 23 years as Vader learning to rule through fear. In one day, I've laid the foundation of an empire of my own. Small. Local. But absolutely mine. The Dark Lord has returned. And this time, he will write his own destiny. 3 weeks later, the galaxy is vast. Tatooine is remote. News travels slowly in the Outer Rim. But on Tatooine, news travels at the speed of fear. Week 1. Building the myth. The story spreads. Variations multiply. A child killed Gardulla the Hutt. He's force-sensitive. He's possessed. He's a demon. He made the guards' heads explode with his mind. Vader doesn't correct anyone. Mystery breeds fear. Fear breeds respect. Respect breeds obedience. Security operations. 20 labor droids, salvaged from Gardulla's operations, reprogrammed, weaponized. Combat-capable units now patrol the palace. Armed with blasters from Gardulla's weapons cache, programmed with tactical protocols from Vader's memory of Imperial infantry tactics. Better than any private security on Tatooine. Intelligence network. Former slaves employed as information gatherers. Paid well. Expected to report everything happening in Mos Espa. Within a week, Vader knows more about the city than any crime lord has in decades. Criminal operations maintains Gardulla's existing rackets temporarily. Protection. Smuggling. Enforcement. But improves efficiency with precise management. No wasteful violence. No unnecessary cruelty. Just cold, calculated profit. Reputation builds. The boy boss pays on time and kills traitors instantly. Physical training. Deep in the palace, in a converted storage room, Anakin trains. Alone. Lightsaber forms. No saber yet. Just a metal pipe. Form V. Gemso. The power form. Aggressive. Overwhelming. Vader's specialty. The child's body struggles. Limited strength. Limited reach. But muscle memory from 45 years flows through every movement. Force exercises. Pushing. Pulling. Lifting. Holding. Building the child body's capacity for sustained force use. Vader pushes the limits no Jedi would allow a child to approach. Pain is an old friend. This body will obey me. Meditation. Balancing light and dark. The constant internal battle. The yellow in his eyes never fully fades now, but sometimes, briefly, blue breaks through. Week 2. The challenge. A challenger emerges. Darga the Hutt. Gardulla's cousin. Smaller operation. Ambitious. Thinks the child got lucky. Wants to claim the palace. Re-establish Hutt control. Arrives with 30 armed thugs. Swaggers to the palace gates. Demands entry. Anakin walks out alone. Darga, through translator droid. The Hutts will not tolerate this insult. Leave Mos Espa now or die. Anakin, silent. The thugs open fire. Blaster bolts by the dozen. Force barrier. Larger scale than before. Visible ripple in the air. The bolts fall uselessly. Every single one. Anakin gestures. Casual. One hand. Every weapon. 30 blasters, vibroblades, grenades, flies from their owner's hands. Lands in the sand behind Anakin. Another gesture. Every thug falls to their knees, gasping. Mass force choke. Light pressure, not lethal, just enough to make them understand. Anakin walks past them to Darga directly, looks up at the hut. You have 10 seconds to leave Tatooine forever. If I see you again, I'll rip your slug heart out through your mouth. Pause. 10, 9, 8. Darga flees. The thugs scramble after him. Aftermath. 30 witnesses. The story spreads. He disarmed an army with a wave of his hand. 30 armed men. 1 child. They ran. Other potential challengers reconsider. And in his palace in the northern Dune Sea, Jabba the Hutt begins to pay attention. Reports from Mos Espa. Unusual activity, power shift. Jabba is not concerned yet, but he is watching. Week 3. The Empire of Scrap. Droid army construction. Vader salvages Clone Wars era battle droid components. Available on Tatooine's black market. Cheap, obsolete, but in the right hands, he combines them with astromech parts, protocol droid processors, custom programming, creates hybrid combat units, faster than standard battle droids, smarter than security droids. First Squadron, 12 units, programmed with Imperial tactical protocols straight from Vader's memory. Worth 100 standard droids. Weapons development. Podracer engines are powerful, dangerous. Vader repurposes them, creates stationary defense turrets, installs them around the palace perimeter. Automated, devastating. Any assault on the palace would be suicide. Financial growth would be, invests Gardulla's wealth strategically, buys influence with key spaceport officials in Mos Eisley, secures import/export channels, legitimate fronts, illegal back end. Within 3 weeks, doubling the original wealth. Money creates power. Power creates more money. The cycle accelerates. Shmi's arc. She's adjusting. Free for the first time in her life. Private quarters, staff who respect her, but disturbed by the violence. The bodies. The transformation of her son. One evening, she tries to reach him. Ani, where did you learn all this? The fighting. The planning. The everything. Anakin looks at her. Tired, 9-year-old body pushed to its limits. From the life I lived, that I haven't lived yet. She doesn't understand. Mom, I know it's confusing, but I need you to trust me. I do trust you, but I don't understand you. That's okay. He takes her hand, small hand in hers. As long as you're safe, I can live with that. The fortress. By the end of 3 weeks, the palace is transformed. Blast doors on all entrances. Reinforced durasteel. Surveillance systems throughout. Cameras, sensors, motion detectors, hidden escape tunnels. 3 different routes out of the palace, ending at different locations in the city. Armory stocked with weapons from Gardulla's cache plus new acquisitions. Shmi's quarters, furthest from any entrance. Most secured section of the palace. Escape tunnel directly accessible. Anakin's chambers, sparse. Meditation space, workshop, no luxury. Strategic positioning. Mos Espa now has 2 power centers. Traditional, the various smaller criminal operations, all ultimately under Jabba's watchful eye. New, the Shadow King's consolidated operation. Anakin is careful. Doesn't challenge Jabba directly. Sends tribute, respectful messages through intermediaries. I'm not ready for Jabba yet, but I will be. Patience. Patience learned through 45 years of ruling an empire. The arrival. Final scene of the chapter. Anakin on the palace balcony at night. Meditation, reaching into the Force. Suddenly, his eyes snap open. A presence. Powerful. In orbit. Light side. Strong. Familiar recognition floods through him. Qui-Gon Jinn. The Jedi has arrived. Right on schedule. Vader stands. Walks to the command center. Sends a message through his underworld channels. Encrypted. Urgent. Tell every merchant in Mos Espa that the boss wants to know about any strangers looking for hyperdrive parts. I pay well for good information. He returns to the balcony. Looks up at the stars. At the ship in orbit he can sense but not see. A small smile crosses his face. Not warm. Predatory. Hello again, Master Jinn. Let's see if you recognize what you're dealing with this time. Closing line. Internal monologue. 3 weeks ago I was a slave. Now I'm a king. Small kingdom. Brutal methods, but absolutely my own. The Jedi wouldn't understand. They never did. But they will serve my purpose. Palpatine's plan depends on Naboo, and I'm about to break that plan. Peace. Bye. Peace. Mos Espa Spaceport. Outskirts. 32 BBY. Morning. A Naboo royal starship lands in the desert. Damaged. Leaking plasma. The hyperdrive is shot. They're stranded. From the ship emerges a group. Qui-Gon Jinn, 60 years old. Jedi Master. Tall. Gray hair. Calm presence. Obi-Wan Kenobi, 25 years old. Jedi Padawan. Bearded. Serious. Padmé Amidala, 14 years old. Queen of Naboo, disguised as a handmaiden in simple robes. Jar Jar Binks. Gungan. Clumsy. Nervous. R2-D2. Astromech droid. Blue and white. Captain Panaka. Naboo security chief. Armed. Protective. Mission: acquire hyperdrive parts. Avoid detection by Trade Federation forces. Return to Naboo. Qui-Gon feels it immediately. The force here is disturbed. A disturbance. Something wrong. Heavy. Dark but not evil. Something changed. Stay close, he tells the group. Something is different here. The search. They move into Mos Espa proper. Desert city. Crowded. Hot. Dusty Qui-Gon heads for the junk shops, needs a T-14 hyperdrive generator. Republic credits won't work here. Outer Rim doesn't accept them. First stop. Watto's shop. The building is abandoned. Crime scene markers. Hut symbols meaning death occurred here. Under investigation. Qui-Gon asks a nearby merchant. Watto died. 3 weeks ago. How? Murdered. They say his slave did it. Just a boy. Qui-Gon's interest sharpens. A boy killed his master. Merchant whispers, not just killed, destroyed. Then took over Gardulla's palace. Gardulla the Hutt, dead too. Same boy. Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan exchange glances. Obi-Wan, Master, this is impossible. I know. They ask other merchants about hyperdrive parts. Every answer is the same. Talk to the boss. The Shadow King. The boy who owns Gardulla's palace now. Finally, one merchant, braver than the others, explains. You want parts? You need to see him. He controls all the major salvage in Mos Espa now. If anyone has what you need, it's him. Where do we find him? You don't. He finds you. The summons. 10 minutes later, 3 professional mercenaries approach Qui-Gon's group. Human, well-armed. Not thugs. Soldiers. Lead mercenary. The boss heard off-worlders were looking for parts. He'll see you. Qui-Gon's hand moves toward his lightsaber. Subtle. Ready. We don't need to see anyone. We can handle our own. It's not a request, the mercenary interrupts. Polite, but firm. But the boss pays for information. He'll probably pay for your cooperation too. He's reasonable, if you're respectful. Padmé, still disguised, whispers to Qui-Gon, what kind of crime lord sends escorts instead of thugs? Or one who's prepared. They follow. What choice do they have? They need parts. The walk. Through Mos Espa streets, Qui-Gon notices changes. More order than typical for Tatooine. Less visible desperation. Slaves still exist. But they look better fed. Healthier. Strange. Droid patrols, but not standard security droids. Hybrid models. Custom built. Heavily armed. Moving with precision. Military precision. Obi-Wan, Master, this is more sophisticated than typical Hutt operations. Qui-Gon, I sense something. The force is disturbed here. Concentrated. Once Gardulla's, now fortified. Guard towers with automated weapons, blast doors, surveillance systems. This isn't a crime lord's palace. This is a fortress. The throne room. They enter. The transformation is complete. No longer opulent Hutt luxury. Now, functional, militaristic, clean, command center aesthetic, holoscreens showing city layouts, communication arrays, security camera feeds from across Mos Espa, tactical maps of Tatooine on the walls, no slaves, only paid staff and droids. And in the center, the throne, still oversized from Gardulla's time. On it sits a child, 9 years old. Blonde hair, Blue eyes, small enough that his feet don't touch the floor when he sits. But everything else is wrong. The way he sits. Perfect posture. Hands steepled like a military commander reviewing reports. The way he looks at them. Ancient. Analytical. Measuring threats and assets. The way his staff reacts to him. Genuine respect mixed with terror. And his eyes. Sometimes blue. Sometimes yellow. Flickering between like a damaged light. Qui-Gon's breath catches. In 60 years as a Jedi, he's never seen anything like this. The introduction. The child doesn't stand, doesn't smile. His voice is a child's voice, but the cadence is wrong. Too formal, too controlled. Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn. Your reputation precedes you. Qui-Gon. Startled. You know who I am? I know many things. The child's gaze shifts. Cataloging. You're stranded. You need a T-14 hyperdrive generator. You don't have Republic credits. You're in a hurry. Qui-Gon's hand moves closer to his lightsaber. How do you know this? I pay for information. And I sense the Force in you. I sense it in your Padawan, hiding his hand near his weapon. Then to Padmé, and I sense it in her. Captain Panaka moves to protect her. The child, you're no handmaiden, Your Majesty. Shock ripples through the group. Padmé steps forward, braver than in canon, Queen finding her spine. Who are you? The child looks at her. And for a moment, just a moment, something like sadness crosses his face. Someone who's seen your future. Someone who's trying to change it. The negotiation. Qui-Gon steps forward. You're strong in the Force. Stronger than any child I've encountered. What are you? Anakin. I'm what happens when someone loses everything and learns from it. Pause. Jedi Master. I'll give you the hyperdrive parts you need. I'll even give them to you for free. Qui-Gon, immediately suspicious. What do you want in return? Passage off this planet. For myself and my mother. He stands, small figure on the massive throne, and I want you to not take me to the Jedi Council. Silence. You know about the Council? Anakin's smile is bitter. Adult. Wrong on a child's face. I know everything about the Council. I know about the Chosen One prophecy. I know what you think I am, and I know what you'll try to turn me into. He walks forward, down the steps from the throne. Master Jinn, I am strong in the Force. Stronger than you can imagine. But I won't be a Jedi. I won't follow their code. I won't suppress my attachments or surrender my will to their dogma. Qui-Gon. The dark side. Anakin laughs. Bitter. Broken. The dark side? I've lived in darkness you can't comprehend. I've done things that would make Sith Lords weep, and I've come back from it. He looks up at Qui-Gon. 9-year-old face. Eyes burning gold. I'm not your Padawan. I'm not your chosen one. I'm something else entirely. Obi-Wan's lightsaber ignites. Blue blade humming. Then you're a threat. Mercenary guards draw blasters. Automated turrets activate with targeting beeps. Qui-Gon's group is surrounded. Anakin doesn't move. Doesn't flinch. Put that away, Padawan Kenobi, before someone gets hurt. His voice is ice. Master Jinn, I'm offering you a deal. Take it or leave it. But know this. I could take those parts from you by force. I could kill everyone in this room before you could blink. But I'm choosing not to. Pause. That should tell you something. Qui-Gon's decision. The Force is screaming at Qui-Gon. Danger. Power. But also, truth. This child is essential. Dangerous. But not evil. Something deeply wrong but also deeply right. Why help us? Anakin. Because if you don't reach Coruscant, a very bad man wins. And I have plans for that bad man. Who? When we're in hyperspace, I'll tell you everything. For now, do we have a deal? Qui-Gon looks at Obi-Wan, at Padmé, at the weapons trained on them, at this impossible child who somehow knows everything. What about your mother? The mother. Anakin gestures. A door opens. A woman enters. Shmi Skywalker, mid-30s, wearing clean, quality clothes, looking healthier than anyone on Tatooine should. She sees Qui-Gon. Jedi robes. Jedi? Anakin. Mom, these people are going to take us away from Tatooine. Pack everything you want to keep. Shmi looks at Qui-Gon, uncertain. Is he going to the temple? Qui-Gon, honestly, I don't know. Anakin, no, Mom. I'm not. But we're leaving this place. You'll be safe. Shmi looks at her son, complex emotions warring on her face. You promise? Anakin's voice softens, just slightly. I promise. This time, I'll keep you safe. The exchange. The hyperdrive. Anakin's staff brings out a T-14 hyperdrive generator. New. Still in manufacturer sealing. Qui-Gon. Where did you get this? I have resources. He sends his own technicians, droid-assisted humans, to the Queen's ship. They work faster and more efficiently than Watto ever could have. While repairs proceed, Anakin's staff loads supplies, Shmi's belongings, selected weapons, data drives with encrypted information. He's leaving. The palace operations go to his second-in-command, a freed slave, fiercely loyal. Instructions: maintain the territory. Don't challenge Jabba. Wait for my return. Pause. If I die, liquidate everything and divide the wealth among the freed slaves. If I succeed, you'll hear from me within a year. The waiting. Hours for repairs. Anakin offers hospitality, food, rest. His palace has been transformed. Professional, clean, military. Padmé tries to talk to him, finds him in an observation room, looking at holographic displays of Tatooine. Why help Naboo? Anakin looks at her, that strange, ancient gaze. Because you matter. Because you'll matter. Because if I don't help now, people die who shouldn't. How do you know? I've lived through what happens if I don't. I won't let it happen again. Padmé stares at him. Something about this child is broken. But also, protective? You said you've seen my future. What did you see? Anakin is silent for a long moment. I saw someone beautiful and brave and kind. I saw someone I loved. I saw someone I destroyed. She steps back, shocked. What? But that won't happen. I won't let it. You're going to live, Padmé Amidala. You're going to live a long, full life. I'll make sure of it. He walks away, leaving her confused and deeply unsettled. The departure. The ship is ready. Qui-Gon's group boards, plus Anakin and Shmi. Anakin looks back at Mos Espa. 3 weeks as a king. 3 weeks to build a legend. It's enough. Padmé watches him. Will you miss it? No. It was never about the power. It was about survival. The ship lifts off. Shmi, overwhelmed, sits in the passenger compartment. Free, truly free. For the first time, Obi-Wan finds Qui-Gon in the corridor. Master, that child is dangerous. But I believe he's telling the truth about helping us. And the Force is drawn to him like I've never felt. What do we do when we reach Coruscant? I don't know. But this changes everything. Final scene. Observation window. Anakin stands alone, watching Tatooine shrink behind them. Padmé joins him. You said you've seen my future. What did you see? Long silence. I saw someone beautiful and brave and kind. Someone I loved. Pause. Someone I destroyed. She stares at him, horrified. But that won't happen. I won't let it. You're going to live, Padmé Amidala. You're going to live a long, full life. I'll make sure of it. He walks away. She's left standing there, alone, confused, and somewhere on Coruscant, in the Jedi temple, Master Yoda suddenly gasps. Meditation interrupted. A great disturbance. Something has changed. Something impossible. Hyperspace. The journey to Coruscant takes 2 to 3 days. The Naboo royal ship hurtles through the blue-white tunnel of faster-than-light travel, and in a meditation chamber deep in the ship, a conversation begins that will change the fate of the galaxy. Day 1. Qui-Gon's interrogation. The meditation chamber is small, private. Just Qui-Gon and Anakin. Shmi is resting in guest quarters. The others give them space. Qui-Gon sits cross-legged. Anakin mirrors him. For a long moment, they simply breathe. Then Qui-Gon speaks. Who taught you the Force? Anakin, you did. Or you will. Or you would have. Pause. Time is complicated when you've lived it wrong. You're speaking in riddles. I'm speaking in truth. Anakin looks up. 9-year-old face, eyes ancient. Master Jinn, what if I told you I'm 45 years old? What if I told you I've died and come back? What if I told you that in my timeline you die in a week? Silence. Qui-Gon stares. That's impossible. Is it? Anakin's voice is calm. Clinical. Your master was Count Dooku. You trained Obi-Wan Kenobi. You believe in the living force more than the Council does. You found me on Tatooine as a slave and believed I was the chosen one. You died fighting a Sith Lord named Darth Maul, and with your last breath you made Obi-Wan promise to train me. Qui-Gon goes pale. Those are not public facts. Those are private truths. I know these things because I was there. Because you did find me. Because you did die. Because Obi-Wan did train me. Anakin's voice drops. And I became the very thing you were trying to prevent. The story. Anakin tells selected pieces. Carefully. Strategically. His training as a Jedi. Enough details to prove he knows the Temple. The Council. The training methods. The Clone Wars. Enough specifics to prove foreknowledge. Battles that haven't happened. Generals who aren't yet born. His fall to the dark side. I killed everyone. Younglings. Friends. My wife. His voice cracks. I became Darth Vader. Enforcer of the Emperor. I ruled through fear for 23 years. 23 years as a monster. A weapon. A slave to Palpatine. Then, redemption. My son. Luke. He believed I could be saved. And in the end, I destroyed the Emperor. I died redeemed. Final piece. I woke up back in this body. 9 years old. A slave, with all my memories intact. Qui-Gon's reaction. He wants to disbelieve. Every rational part of his mind screams, impossible. But the Force doesn't lie. And this child radiates truth. If you're truly from the future, prove it. Anakin recites specific private conversations Qui-Gon had with Yoda. Word for word. Council decisions not yet made. Votes that haven't happened. Technical details about Qui-Gon's lightsaber. Internal modifications no one else knows. Personal details. Qui-Gon's fears. His doubts about the Council. His secret belief that the Jedi have lost their way. After 10 minutes, Qui-Gon raises a hand. Stop. I'm convinced. The prophecy. The chosen one prophecy. Qui-Gon says slowly. One who will bring balance to the Force. Anakin. I fulfilled it. I destroyed the Sith. It just took 45 years and cost billions of lives. Then you succeeded. At what cost? Anakin's voice rises. Emotion breaking through. I became a monster to kill a monster. I burned the galaxy to save it. I murdered children. I destroyed the woman I loved. I enslaved myself to the very darkness I was supposed to defeat. He looks at Qui-Gon. I'm not doing that again. Balance doesn't mean wiping out the dark. It means accepting both exist in every being. The Jedi forgot that. It's why they fell. Qui-Gon, what are you going to do? Kill Palpatine before he can become Emperor. Save the Jedi by forcing them to change. Protect everyone I lost, and never ever become Darth Vader again. The warning. Master Jinn, you're going to want to take me to the Council. I'm asking you not to. They'll try to control me. They'll fear me. They'll either want to exploit my power or suppress it. Anakin stands. I've been down that road. It ends in slavery. Just a different kind. What will you do instead? I'll help you save Naboo. I'll help you stop Palpatine. Then I'll take my mother and disappear. Pause. The galaxy doesn't need a chosen one. It needs people who choose to do good without prophecy forcing them. Day 2. Padmé's perspective. Padmé watches Anakin with his mother. They're in the common area, Shmi adjusting to freedom. Overwhelmed. Anakin is tender with her. Patient. Teaches her how to use the ship's systems. Shows her star charts. Talks to her about planets she might like to visit. Where do you want to go, Mom? Anywhere in the galaxy. Shmi. Ani. I just want to be where you are. You died in my timeline because I wasn't there. I won't make that mistake again. Later, Padmé finds Anakin alone on the observation deck. You confuse me. He doesn't turn. I confuse myself sometimes. You're 9 years old. You killed a Hutt. You command armies. You talk like someone who's lived lifetimes. Pause. But with your mother, you're just a boy. The connection. Padmé steps closer. You said you loved me. In your timeline. Long pause. Yes. I'm 14. You're 9. I know. It's wrong in a dozen ways. Anakin turns to face her. In my timeline, we didn't meet again until I was 19. By then, we were equals. We fell in love during the Clone Wars. We married in secret. His voice breaks. I killed you, Padmé. In my rage and fear, I choked you. You died giving birth to our children. She steps back, horrified and heartbroken. I'm not asking for anything. I'm not expecting anything. I'm just trying to keep you alive this time. That's all. Tears in his eyes. You deserve to live a full life. Marry someone kind. Rule Naboo wisely. Grow old. And you? I'll find somewhere quiet. Raise my mother in peace. Try to be the person I should have been. Padmé looks at this broken child, this tragedy wearing a 9-year-old face. What do you need from me? Nothing. Just, when the time comes, when I stop Palpatine, I'll need you to trust me. Can you do that? She nods. Yes. Day 3. Obi-Wan's confrontation. Training room. Anakin is practicing. Obi-Wan finds him. The boy moves through lightsaber forms with a training saber. Form V. Gemso. Aggressive. Powerful. Obi-Wan recognizes it. That's not a Padawan form. Anakin. No. It's a Sith Lord's form. The form I mastered over 23 years. The duel. Prove it, Obi-Wan says. Sparring match. Training sabers. Non-lethal. Anakin fights like Vader. Overwhelming. Relentless. Brutal. But in a child's body. Limited strength. Limited reach. Still. Frighteningly competent. Obi-Wan presses the attack. Uses his superior size and speed. Anakin adapts. Force-enhanced movements. Perfect precognition. The duel ends in stalemate. Both exhausted. The talk. You're dangerous, Obi-Wan says. Yes. Master Qui-Gon believes you. I'm not sure I do. Anakin looks at him. I don't need you to believe me, Obi-Wan. I need you to survive. Pause. In my timeline, you lost your master. Got saddled with training me despite being barely knighted yourself. Fought in a war that traumatized you, and then had to cut me down when I turned evil. Anakin's voice is raw. You deserve better. Obi-Wan shaken. You're saying I trained you. You were my master, my brother, my best friend. And I betrayed you. I tried to kill you. I succeeded in making you think you'd failed. A tear runs down Anakin's cheek. You didn't fail, Obi-Wan. I did, and I'm trying to make sure it doesn't happen again. Obi-Wan's decision. He can't fully believe, but he can't fully disbelieve either. The emotion in the boy's eyes is real. What do you need from me? Keep Qui-Gon alive. He dies fighting Maul. I'll handle Maul, but Qui-Gon has to survive the next few days. You're asking me to trust you with my master's life? I'm asking you to help me save him, because I can't do everything alone. The plan. Final scene. War Council. Qui-Gon. Obi-Wan. Anakin. Padmé. Captain Panaka. Anakin lays out Palpatine's scheme. The Trade Federation blockade is Palpatine's creation. He's orchestrating both sides. His goal, create sympathy for Naboo, get elected chancellor, gain emergency powers, eventually, transform the Republic into an empire. The counter-strategy. First, we reach Coruscant. Padmé addresses the Senate, but instead of calling for a vote of no confidence in Chancellor Valorum, she exposes the connection between the Trade Federation and Palpatine's backers. Panaka, we have no proof. I have proof. 30 years of hindsight. Trust me, once I start pointing the Council and Senate intelligence to the right places, they'll find it. Second, the Jedi Council will want to test me. I'll let them to a point, but I won't join the Order. I'll offer myself as an independent ally. Third, Darth Maul is coming. He's Palpatine's assassin. When he attacks, I'll be ready. Qui-Gon, how do you know he's coming? Because in my timeline he found us on Tatooine. This time he'll find us on Coruscant, or Naboo. Sith are predictable. Fourth, we go to Naboo. Not to be bait, to end this. I have the resources. I have the knowledge. I'll break the blockade myself. Padmé. How? Anakin grins. First genuine smile. I have a droid army, a fortress, and enough liquid assets to hire mercenaries. I'll make one call to Tatooine, and within a week, I'll have a private fleet. Gardulla's wealth, plus my knowledge of Imperial tactics, the Trade Federation won't know what hit them. Fifth, once Naboo is saved, Palpatine's plan is ruined. But he's still dangerous, so I'll kill him. Shocked silence. Obi-Wan, you can't just assassinate a senator. Watch me. He's a Sith Lord. He's responsible for the death of billions. He needs to die, and I'm the only one who can do it. The pact. They agree to the plan. Reluctantly. Qui-Gon, you're asking us to trust you completely. I'm asking you to let me fix what I broke. In my timeline, I trusted Palpatine. It destroyed everything. This time, I'm asking you to trust me instead. I won't fail you. Arrival. The ship drops out of hyperspace. Coruscant ahead. Gleaming capital. Anakin looks at it with complex emotions. I burned this place. I purged the temple. I killed younglings in those halls. To Qui-Gon, I'm going to save it instead, and then I'm going to walk away. Coruscant. 2 days after leaving Tatooine, the glittering capital planet. While Padmé handles Senate politics, Qui-Gon brings Anakin to the Jedi Temple. Shmi stays in the diplomatic quarters, secure, comfortable, overwhelmed by the city planet. Walking the temple, Anakin walks through the halls, deeply unsettled, memories crashing over him like waves. Training here, falling here, killing here. They pass a group of younglings practicing, lightsaber forms. Laughing, innocent. Anakin stops. Stares. I murdered children this age. Qui-Gon, you didn't. That was another timeline. The potential is in me. It's always there. The Council Chamber. 12 Jedi Masters sit in a circle. Master Yoda. Ancient, wise, powerful, 870 years old. Mace Windu. Stern, suspicious, champion of the Jedi Order. Ki-Adi-Mundi. Plo Koon. Others. The wisest beings in the galaxy. In the center, a 9-year-old boy. The testing. Yoda. Strong in the Force you are. Unusually strong. How old you are. Anakin. 9 years, Master Yoda. Though I've lived longer. Confusing, your words are. Anakin looks directly at Yoda. Then let me be clear. I'm the chosen one from your prophecy. I was born on Tatooine without a father, conceived by the Force itself. I'm here because Master Jinn believes I can help save the Republic. Pause. But I won't become a Jedi. The Council erupts in murmurs. Mace Windu, you refuse training. I refuse slavery. Your order demands I sever all attachments. My mother is all I have. I won't abandon her. I won't suppress my emotions. I won't pretend the dark side doesn't exist. His voice hardens. The Jedi way nearly destroyed the galaxy in my timeline. I won't follow it again. The demonstration. The Council wants proof of his abilities. Standard tests. Moving objects. Sensing hidden items. Anakin, bored, complies. Then Mace Windu, show us your true power. Anakin stands. As you wish. Tables. Datapads. Equipment. 12 lightsabers fly from the Master's belt simultaneously. Hover in a perfect circle around Anakin. The Council gasps. I was a Jedi Master. Then I became a Sith Lord. Then I killed the Emperor and died redeemed. The sabers return gently to their owners. I've forgotten more about the Force than most of you will ever learn. The question isn't whether I'm powerful. It's whether you're wise enough to let me help on my terms. He walks out. Yoda's reaction. After Anakin leaves, Yoda sits, deeply troubled. See him clearly. I cannot. Clouded, his future is. Both light and dark in balance. Pause. Dangerous, this is. Mace, we should detain him. Study him. Qui-Gon, he came willingly. He offered alliance. If we imprison him, we make an enemy. Yoda, right, Qui-Gon is. Trust him, we must. But watch him closely. We shall. A figure meditates in darkness. Darth Maul, Zabrak, tattooed red and black, yellow Sith eyes, horned head, apprentice to Darth Sidious. He feels it. A disturbance in the Force. Something has changed. His communicator activates. Hologram of Darth Sidious, hooded, face hidden. The Queen has escaped the blockade. She's on Coruscant. Find her. Intimidate her. Do not kill her yet. Maul, yes, my master. But then, another presence in the Force. Powerful, dark, ancient. What is this? He doesn't understand it yet. But he will. The hunt. Maul stalks through Coruscant, tracking the Queen's ship to its landing zone. Waiting for opportunity, he sees the group. Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, and a child. Maul watches from a rooftop, hidden, invisible. The child looks directly at his hiding spot. Impossible. No one should sense him through his Force stealth. The child smiles. Predatory. Knowing. Maul's blood runs cold. Anakin's awareness. He felt Maul the moment the Zabrak got close. Knows that presence. That signature. The assassin who killed Qui-Gon. Master Jinn. We're being watched. Qui-Gon. Where? Rooftop. East. Zabrak male, heavily armed. Sith apprentice. Obi-Wan. How can you possibly? 'Cause I've fought him before. Anakin's voice is ice. Tell Padmé to stay inside. This needs to happen now. Day 2. The duel. Industrial district. Nightfall. Anakin deliberately draws Maul away from civilians. Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan follow. Abandoned factory. Perfect dueling ground. Maul appears. Double-bladed lightsaber ignites. Red. Deadly. The conversation. Jedi, you will die. Anakin, I'm not a Jedi, and you're not killing anyone today. A child? You send a child against me? Anakin's smile is cold. I'm not a child. I'm a ghost. Tell Sidious that Vader remembers. But the Force screams, danger. You're going to attack now. You'll try to separate the three of us. Kill the weakest. Overwhelm the strongest. Anakin tilts his head. You're trained in Form 7. Juyo, the ferocity form. You rely on aggression and acrobatics. Pause. It won't be enough. The battle. Maul lunges. Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan engage. Coordinated Jedi teamwork. Anakin hangs back, unarmed, seemingly vulnerable. Maul sees the opening. Goes for the child. Mistake. As Maul leaps, Anakin gestures. Force throw. Maul slammed into the wall. Follows up. Force crush on Maul's weapon hand. The double saber drops. Clatters. Maul roars. Uses force push. Anakin absorbs it. Barely moves. I fought you for 23 years through proxies and assassins. I always won. Pause. You're out of your depth. Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. They're stunned. The child is dominating a Sith Lord. Fighting style. Pure Vader. Brutal. Efficient. Overwhelming force. No wasted movement. Maul is one of the deadliest fighters in the galaxy. And a 9-year-old is destroying him. Maul's desperation. He retrieves his saber with the Force. Spinning attack. Trying to use superior reach and speed. Anakin, predictive precognition. Dodges impossible strikes. Waits for the opening. It comes. Maul overextends. Anakin, precision force attack. Targets Maul's legs. Force crush. Not cybernetic yet. Just flesh and bone. They shatter. Maul screams. Collapses. The finish. Anakin walks forward. Takes Maul's double saber. Examines it. Synthetic crystals. Sith always were wasteful. Ignites one blade. Holds it to Maul's throat. Red light illuminating the child's face. Qui-Gon. Wait, we can take him to the council. Question him. Anakin doesn't look away from Maul. He won't talk. Sith training includes resistance to interrogation, and Palpatine will just send more assassins. Maul, spitting blood. My master will avenge me. Your master is next. But you get to live, because I need you alive. Deactivates the saber. Steps back. Qui-Gon. Obi-Wan. Bind him. We're taking him to the council as a gift. The capture. Maul. Injured. Helpless. Force suppressing restraints from Qui-Gon's equipment. Obi-Wan, why spare him? Because a living Sith is proof. Dead, he's just a body. Alive, he proves there's a Sith Lord operating in the Republic. Pause. Alive, the Council has to act. Qui-Gon's realization. You planned this. You drew him out deliberately. Anakin, I told you. I've lived this. In my timeline, Maul killed you in front of me. Obi-Wan couldn't defeat him alone. I barely survived. Pause. This time, we take him alive. No one dies, and Palpatine loses his primary weapon. What if you'd failed? Anakin's smile is cold. I didn't. The aftermath. Jedi Temple. High security prison. Maul secured in a containment cell. Council interrogation begins. Maul, silent, hateful, but his presence proves it. Sith exist. Yoda, clouded, the dark side is. But two there are, master and apprentice. Mace, we have the apprentice. Where's the master? Anakin's testimony, brought before the full council. The master is on Coruscant, close to power. You'll never find him by searching, but he'll reveal himself. How do you know? Because his plan is falling apart. Padmé's testimony is changing Senate sentiment. Maul is captured. The Naboo blockade will break, and a Sith Lord backed into a corner becomes desperate. The warning. Qui-Gon pulls Anakin aside after the council session. Private corridor in the temple. He'll try for Naboo, Anakin says. It's his last play. The invasion force is already there. He'll gamble that I can't break a planetary blockade fast enough. Can you? Anakin's smile is cold, confident. Yes. I've already sent the call to Tatooine. My fleet is being assembled. Within 3 days I'll have 50 starfighters and 10 transport ships, mercenary crews, hybrid droid fighters, and me commanding them. Qui-Gon stares. You're not a general. I was the supreme commander of Imperial forces for 23 years. I conquered star systems. Pause. Trust me, Master Jinn. I can handle one blockade. Night. Anakin alone in the guest quarters, examining Maul's double-bladed lightsaber. Memories flood back. All the Sith weapons he wielded as Vader. The power, the corruption, the temptation. The dark side whispers to him, take it, use it. You know you want to. But then, from the next room, Shmi's voice, humming softly. A Tatooine lullaby she sang when he was young. Anakin closes his eyes, centers himself. I am not Vader. Not anymore. He ignites the saber briefly, red blade casting crimson light across his face. But I remember how to be him when I need to. He deactivates it, sets it aside. Tomorrow the real war begins. Coruscant, Jedi Temple, 1 day after Maul's capture. Formal hearing, council chamber, full assembly, Senate observers present. The stakes are galactic. Maul's capture has triggered a political earthquake. The Senate is demanding answers. Chancellor Valorum is weakened. Palpatine is maneuvering for power. And the Jedi Council must decide what to do with Anakin Skywalker. The proposal. Mace Windu speaks. Voice stern. Authoritative. Anakin Skywalker. The Council has deliberated. Your power is undeniable. Your knowledge unprecedented. Your actions have served the Republic. Refuse our code. We cannot simply let you leave. Anakin, can't you? Yoda, dangerous you are. Unchecked power the dark side follows. Anakin stands, addresses the chamber. Calm, measured, devastating. Masters, let me tell you about the Jedi Code. Let me tell you what I've learned from living it, breaking it, and dying because of it. The condemnation. On attachment, there is no emotion, there is peace. You teach Padawans to suppress love, fear, anger, passion. You call it enlightenment. Pause. I call it self-mutilation. The council stirs, uncomfortable. In my timeline, I loved my mother. You told me to let go. She died screaming while I was thousands of light years away, forbidden to help her. When I had visions of her death, I had no one to turn to, because you'd made love a crime. Anakin's eyes burn. Attachment doesn't lead to the dark side. Suppressed attachment does. Fear of loss leads to the dark side, and you create that fear by telling people they can't love. On the dark side, you teach that the dark side is evil. Separate, to be avoided at all costs. Pause, but it's not. It's part of the Force, just like the light. Anger, fear, passion. These are natural emotions. When you deny them, you don't eliminate them. You just push them into shadow where they fester. His voice drops. I fell to the dark side because I never learned to balance it. You never taught me. You just told me to ignore it. So when it finally broke through, it consumed me. On the Chosen One. You want me to be your chosen one, your weapon against the Sith. Anakin's laugh is bitter. But you never asked me what I want. You never asked if I consent to your prophecy. I fulfilled it in my timeline. I brought balance. But the cost was the destruction of your order, the death of billions, and 23 years as a monster. Looks at Yoda directly. Is that the balance you wanted? The Council's response. Mace. Angry, defensive, you dare question centuries of wisdom. Anakin. I question certainty. The Sith think they're right too. Absolute conviction is the enemy of wisdom. Silence. Yoda's turn. Speak from pain, you do. Understand. I do. But without discipline, without the code, chaos there is. Anakin. No, Master Yoda. Without the code, there's choice. There's growth. There's acceptance that people are complex, flawed, and still capable of good. Yoda. Train you we should. Guide you we could. You had your chance. In my timeline, you trained me for 13 years. You made me a master, and I still fell. Pause. Because training isn't enough when the training is flawed. The revelation. You want to know the future? Here it is. Anakin uses the Force, projects memories into the room. Vision. Order 66. Jedi being slaughtered by clone troopers across the galaxy. Vision. Anakin in Vader armor, leading the attack on the temple. Vision. Younglings cowering as Anakin ignites his saber. Vision. The galaxy under Imperial rule. Darkness. Oppression. Fear. The Council. Horrified. Disbelieving. Some turn away. Others stare in shock. Anakin's voice cuts through. This is your future if you don't change, if you don't question your code, if you stay rigid and certain and convinced of your rightness. Qui-Gon's defense. Masters, the boy is right. Qui-Gon stands. We've become political. We've become enforcers. We serve the Senate more than the Force. The living Force is about adaptation. Growth. When did we stop listening? Mace. We keep order. Qui-Gon. We keep control. There's a difference. The confrontation peaks. Anakin. Voice rising. I'm not your chosen one. I'm not your weapon. I'm a person. A broken, traumatized, probably damned person who's trying to do better this time. He walks toward the Council. You can't control me. You can't contain me. You can try, but I've broken out of prisons you can't imagine. I've toppled governments. I've conquered star systems. The room grows cold. Literally. Temperature drops as dark side energy radiates. But I'm not your enemy. I'm offering alliance. I'll help you stop the Sith. I'll help you save the Republic. But I won't become a Jedi. His eyes burn yellow gold. And if you try to force me, you'll learn why the Empire feared Darth Vader. Yoda. Quietly. Mean this you do. Anakin. Every word. The compromise. Yoda stands. Walks to the center. Ancient. Wise. Finally listening. Wrong, we may be. Wrong, we have been before. In the Order's long history, changes there have been. To Anakin, alliance you offer. Terms you dictate. What ask, do you? The terms. Anakin and Shmi, free to leave. No tracking. No Jedi surveillance. Anakin provides intelligence on future threats, including Sith plots. Jedi provide resources for the Naboo mission. After Naboo, Anakin disappears. No contact unless he initiates. Council agrees to internal review of code and practices. Mace's objection. This is unprecedented. Yoda. So is he. Learn, we must. Or repeat the past, we will. The vote. Council splits. 6 vote against, including Yoda. Qui-Gon. 6 vote against, including Mace. Yoda's casting vote breaks the tie. Alliance there is. Trust we will try. The gift. As a parting move, Anakin interrogates Maul one final time. Uses a technique that unsettles the council. Not torture. Psychological precision. Asks questions that prove he knows Sith secrets. Things no child should know. Maul breaks. Slightly. Reveals, my master sits in the Senate. Not a name, but confirmation. Anakin to the council. Start investigating senators with close Trade Federation ties. You'll find him. Qui-Gon's private conversation. Corridor. After the hearing. You've changed everything, Qui-Gon says. Anakin, I've tried. The future's not fixed. But some things are inevitable. Palpatine will make his move. The blockade will escalate. People will die unless I act. Will you return? After Naboo? No. I'll take my mother somewhere safe. Somewhere quiet. Maybe I'll farm, maybe I'll build things. But I won't stay in the game. Pause. The galaxy doesn't need me. It needs people like you. People who question, who grow, who change. Qui-Gon, the living force chose you for a reason. Anakin, maybe it chose me to show you what not to do. Maybe my timeline was a warning. Maybe this timeline is my redemption. Departure preparation. Anakin meets with his Tatooine contacts via secure comm. Fleet status, assembled. Ready. Resources, significant. Plan, break blockade, assist Queen eliminate Trade Federation leadership. Timeline, within 1 week. Shmi's concerns. Ani, you're going to war. I've been to war, Mom. This is just cleanup. You're 9 years old. I'm 45. This body is just inconvenient. She holds him. I don't want to lose you. You won't. I promise. This time, I keep my promises. Chapter close. Preparing to depart for Naboo. Padmé, you're really going to break a planetary blockade? Anakin, I've broken bigger things. Final image, Anakin looking at holographic tactical display of Naboo system. Mind of a general. Eyes of a warlord. Face of a child. Palpatine thinks he controls this game. He's about to learn what happens when the board fights back. 1 week. The Naboo system. The Trade Federation blockade. 6 Lucrehulk-class freighters forming an orbital net. Droid control ship at the center. Thousands of battle droids. Ground forces occupying Naboo cities. Viceroy Newt Gunray. Confident. Following Sidious's orders. The challenge. Impossible by conventional tactics. The Republic can't intervene. Senate politics. Naboo forces. Outgunned. Outmanned. Padmé's cannon plan. Ground assault on the palace. Anakin's plan. Decapitation strike. The fleet arrives. 3 days after leaving Coruscant. The Naboo system. Space near the blockade. Hyperspace tears open. Anakin's fleet emerges. Composition. 50 starfighters. Mix of Z-95 headhunters and reconditioned Clone Wars fighters. 10 transport ships. Carrying droid ground forces. 2 corvettes. Armed for fire support. Flagship. Modified light freighter. Command center. Personnel. Mercenary pilots. Paid from Gardulla's wealth. Droids. Reprogrammed for combat. Crew. Hardened criminals who respect power. Commander. A 9-year-old boy who terrifies them. Trade Federation response. Scanners detect the fleet. Newt Gunray, confused, then amused. A small mercenary fleet. Destroy them. Orders droid fighters to engage. Thousands of vulture droids launch. The battle. Phase 1. Anakin commanding from the flagship. Real-time tactical adjustments. Overcom. Voice calm. Adult in tone. Wing Alpha. Engage their forward screen. Draw them out. Wing Beta. Flank left. Wait for my signal. Wing Gamma. Micro jump. Yes, in-system jump. Behind their droid control ship. I've transmitted the coordinates. Precision is essential. The pilots, stunned but obedient. This is why you're being paid triple rates. Now move. The execution. Wing Alpha engages. Draws the vulture droids out. Wing Beta flanks. Catches them in crossfire. Wing Gamma disappears. Micro jump. Dangerous. Illegal in most systems. Brilliant. They reappear directly behind the droid control ship, targeting the main reactor. Precise strike, coordinated fire. The control ship loses power, begins to drift. Effect: all battle droids simultaneously deactivate, controlled from the ship. No ship, no droids. Entire blockade forces, helpless. Ground troops on Naboo, shut down mid-movement. The invasion, over in minutes. Trade Federation chaos. Newt Gunray. How? Who is this? Scans the flagship. Signatures show a child in command. Impossible. Attempts to flee. Escape pod ready. Too late. The capture. Boarding action. Anakin's transports breach Trade Federation vessels. Droids and mercenaries storm the ships. Goal: capture leadership alive. Anakin personally leads the boarding of the Viceroy's ship. The confrontation. Command bridge. Newt Gunray cornered. You're a child. Anakin, I'm the person who just destroyed your entire invasion force in 20 minutes. Walks forward. Small figure radiating menace. You're going to tell me everything. Who hired you? Who gave orders? Every detail. Newt, I will tell you nothing. The Neimoidian Council will. Force choke. Light pressure. Try again. This time with honesty. Newt gasps, terrified. I don't have time for this. You have 10 seconds to start talking, or I start breaking bones. I won't kill you. That's too easy. I'll leave you broken and afraid and alive, and I'll do the same to every Neimoidian officer in this fleet. Pause. 10, 9, 8. Sidious. Darth Sidious, he ordered the blockade. The intel. Newt breaks completely. Reveals contact procedures, payment methods, Sidious's instructions. Doesn't know Sidious's true identity, but confirms Sith Lord. Operating from Coruscant. All recorded on datapad. Evidence. Cleanup. Trade Federation fleet. Captured intact. Ground forces. Deactivated. Being rounded up by Naboo resistance. Naboo. Liberated. Casualties. Minimal. Mostly droids. Duration. Less than 1 hour. Cost to Anakin. Significant financial resources. But mission accomplished. Padmé's perspective. On the ground with resistance forces. Preparing for assault when suddenly, all battle droids stop. Confusion. Then joy. The blockade. It's broken. Message arrives. Your Majesty, your planet is secure. Come to the palace. We need to talk. Reunion. Palace throne room. Liberated. Anakin waiting. Still in child's body. Covered in scorch marks. But standing like a conqueror. Padmé runs to him. Embraces him. Impulsive. You did it. You actually did it. Anakin stiff, then softens. I told you I would. Palpatine's response. Coruscant, Senate building. Palpatine receiving reports. Blockade broken. Naboo liberated. Viceroy captured. And the testimony mentions Sidious. Palpatine, calm outwardly, seething inwardly. His plan, ruined. His apprentice, captured. His identity, endangered. Decision, must act directly. The call. Palpatine to Naboo. Official channel. Your Majesty, I'll arrive shortly to oversee the transition. Real goal. Assess threat. Eliminate witnesses. Salvage situation. Brings heavy security. Actually assassins. The trap. Anakin's prediction. To Padmé. He's coming. Who? Palpatine. He'll come personally. He has to. His plan is falling apart, and he needs to control the situation. Senator Palpatine? He's been our strongest ally. He's been manipulating you. He's Darth Sidious, and when he arrives, I'll prove it. Preparations. Anakin sets the stage. Palace throne room, seemingly open, vulnerable. Actually, fortified, monitored, perfect kill zone. Guards, actually Anakin's mercenaries in disguise. Droids, armed, hidden in walls. Escape routes, sealed. It's a trap. Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan arrive on Naboo post-battle. Witness the aftermath. Qui-Gon, you've won. Anakin, not yet. The real enemy is coming. And I need witnesses. Witnesses to what? To me killing a Sith Lord. Because after this, I disappear, and you need to be able to tell the council what really happened. Chapter close. Palace. Throne room. Waiting. Anakin sits on the throne. Small, ominous. Shmi. Safely hidden. Protected. Padmé, beside him. Uncertain but trusting. Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan flanking. Ready. Message arrives. Chancellor Palpatine's shuttle has landed. Anakin. Good. Let him come. Let's finish what we started. Several hours. Naboo Palace. Palpatine's entrance. Shuttle lands in palace courtyard. He emerges. Dignified. Grandfatherly. Concerned. Accompanied by guards. Red Guard proto-versions. Scans the environment. Senses the trap. But confident. Your Majesty. Thank the Force you're safe. The audience. Throne room. Padmé, Anakin, Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, guards. Palpatine, surprised to see Anakin. And who is this child? Qui-Gon, Anakin Skywalker. He's assisted us. Palpatine's eyes flicker yellow. Microsecond. Only Anakin notices. Recognition. Force signature familiar but wrong. Confusion. This shouldn't be possible. The diplomacy. Your Majesty, I came as soon as I heard. The Republic grieves for the suffering Naboo has endured. But the crisis is over. The Trade Federation will face severe sanctions. Palpatine, the crisis was orchestrated by a Sith Lord named Sidious. Palpatine, perfect mask of shock. A Sith had been extinct for. Anakin, save it. We have the Viceroy's testimony. We have communication records. We have Darth Maul in custody. And we have me. Palpatine looks at the child. Really looks. Force probe. Tries to read Anakin. Rebounds. Anakin's mental shields are a fortress. I'm afraid I don't understand what you're implying, young man. I'm implying you're Darth Sidious. I'm implying that you're about to die. The unmasking. This is sedition. Queen Amidala, I must advise you. Anakin, Sheev Palpatine, born on Naboo, trained in the dark side by Darth Plagueis the Wise, whom you murdered in his sleep. Apprenticed Darth Maul, orchestrated the Trade Federation invasion, planned to become Chancellor, then Emperor. Padmé gasps. You visited me as a child in my quarters on Coruscant. You groomed me. You spent years turning me against the Jedi. You promised to save my wife, then murdered her. You turned me into Darth Vader. Palpatine's mask drops. Eyes narrow. You're not the boy from Tatooine. You can't be. He's too young, too naive, I'm your student, or I was, or I will be. Time travel is confusing. But I remember everything, Palpatine. Every lesson, every manipulation, every lie. Stands, walks forward. I remember the Opera House. I remember the story of Darth Plagueis. I remember you in the Chancellor's office when I betrayed Mace Windu. I remember your cackle when you declared the Empire. The revelation. Genuinely shocked, realizes, somehow, impossibly, his future apprentice is here. Mind racing, opportunity, threat. You've traveled back. How? I died. The Force gave me another chance. But not to serve you. Palpatine's decision. Calculates rapidly. Options. Flee, fight, negotiate. Can't flee. Trapped. Can't negotiate. Exposed. Must fight. And if this is truly future Vader in a child's body, this will be interesting. The battle. Phase 1. Palpatine drops all pretense. Dark side aura floods the room. Guards revealed as Force-sensitive assassins. Ignite weapons. Padmé runs for cover. Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan ignite lightsabers. You've ruined years of planning, young Skywalker. But you're still in a child's body. And I am the dark side incarnate. Streams toward Anakin. Qui-Gon moves to block. Anakin raises his hands. The lightning stops. Caught. Absorbed. Hands glowing. Palpatine's shock. Impossible. That technique requires 23 years of practice and dying in agony. I know. I've had both. Redirects the lightning back. Palpatine blocks. Grinning now. Delightful. You are him. How wonderfully unexpected. Phase 2, the duel. Palpatine full Sith Lord mode. Faster than Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan can track. Lightsaber appears. Crimson blade. Attacks Anakin directly. Form 7. Juyo. Chaotic. Ferocious. Anakin's response. No lightsaber yet. Pure force combat. Telekinesis. Tears palace fixtures from walls. Hurls them. Force push. Meets Palpatine's attacks head-on. Precognition. Dodges impossible strikes. But child's body is limiting. Growing tired. Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan try to assist. Palpatine toys with them. Force pushes them aside. Jedi. Always interfering. Always self-righteous. Always weak. Focuses on Anakin. Join me. Again. Together. We can still rule the galaxy. Anakin's rejection. Panting. Exhausted. I was your slave once. Never again. Reaches out with the Force. Not at Palpatine. At Padmé. Qui-Gon's lightsaber flies to his hand. Ignites. Blue blade. Let me show you what you made me. Let me show you what I've unmade. Phase 3. The Fallen Chosen One. Anakin with lightsaber transforms. Fighting style, pure Vader. Form V. Gem So. Power and aggression. Overwhelming offense. No mercy. But child's body can't sustain it. Palpatine realizes. Begins wearing him down. The tide turns. You're dying, boy. This body can't handle the power you're channeling. Anakin, I know. I don't care. Unleashes Force scream. Pure anguish. Everyone in the room. Staggered. Palpatine. Momentarily vulnerable. The opening. Qui-Gon recovers first. Strikes at Palpatine. Obi-Wan follows up. 2 Jedi plus 1 exhausted Vader child versus Sidious. Palpatine's still winning, but divided attention. Anakin's gambit. Realizes, can't win with strength. Must use knowledge. Palpatine. You wanted me as your apprentice because you thought I was the chosen one. Because you thought I could overthrow you. What? The Sith rule of 2. Apprentice must eventually surpass master. You feared Plagueis, so you killed him. You trained Maul to be disposable. You wanted me because I was powerful enough to replace you someday. Psychological warfare. But here's what you never understood. The Chosen One prophecy wasn't about power. It was about balance. Light and dark, not one destroying the other. Both in harmony. Closes his eyes. Centers himself. Yellow eyes fade. Pure blue returns. Force signature shifts. Not light, not dark. Both. I am the balance. I am the future you can't predict. I am your death. Phase 4. True balance. Channeling both sides simultaneously. Light side. Jedi discipline. Defense. Precognition. Dark side. Sith power. Aggression. Raw strength. No internal conflict. Acceptance of both. Palpatine. Afraid. For the first time in decades. Genuine fear. This is unknown territory. Attacks with everything. Force lightning. Telekinesis. Saber strikes. Anakin meets each attack. Balanced. The assist. Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. Coordinated strike. Not trying to kill. Trying to create an opening. Qui-Gon. High attack. Obi-Wan. Low attack. Palpatine. Blocked. Anakin. Strikes. The kill. Lightsaber through Palpatine's chest. The Emperor gasps. Impossible. I am all the Sith. Anakin leans close. Whispers. And I am all that you made me, and all that I've become despite you. Goodbye, Master. Pulls the blade out. Palpatine collapses. Dark side energy explodes outward. Everyone thrown back. The aftermath. Room. Devastated. Anakin. Unconscious. Child's body pushed beyond limits. Palpatine dead. Body beginning to decay. Dark side corruption. Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, injured but alive. Padmé emerges from cover. Runs to Anakin. Medical crisis. Anakin. Critical condition. Body pushed too far. Internal injuries. Force sustaining him. Barely. Shmi brought in. Crying. Ani, please wake up. Qui-Gon's healing. Ancient Jedi technique. Pours force energy into Anakin. Stabilizes him. Barely. He'll survive, but his body needs time to recover. Months, maybe years. Padmé's vigil stays beside him while unconscious, whispers, "You saved us, you saved everyone. Now wake up, please." Hours pass. Finally, eyes flutter open. Blue eyes, no yellow. "Mom? Shmi. I'm here, baby. I'm here." Alerted by the force disturbance, scene, Palpatine dead. Throne room destroyed. Evidence everywhere. Communications, testimonies. Yoda, much to explain you have, but right you were. Save the Republic, you did. Anakin, weakly, I'm done. I kept my promise. Now I want to go home. Home. Where is home? Wherever Mom is. Somewhere quiet. Somewhere no one knows Vader's name. 6 months. Epilogue structure. 1 week later, Coruscant, Republic Senate. Emergency session. Evidence presented. Palpatine was Sidious. Recordings of testimony. Maul's confirmation. Trade Federation documents. Shock. Horror. Political chaos. The hero. Anakin Skywalker officially recognized. Youngest Republic Medal of Valor recipient ever. Senate wants to honor him. Jedi Council wants to study him. Media wants to interview him. He refuses all of it. Padmé's address. From the Senate floor. Citizens of the Republic. You've heard the evidence. Senator Palpatine, Darth Sidious, nearly destroyed us. But one person saw through his plans. A child from Tatooine. Anakin Skywalker. Pause. But Anakin doesn't want glory. He wants peace. He's earned it. So Naboo proposes this. We grant him full Republic citizenship, autonomy, and protection. Let him fade from history quietly. It's the least we owe him. The farewell. Jedi Temple. Private ceremony. Anakin. Recovering. Still weak. Yoda. Stay you could. Much to teach us, you have. I'm not a teacher. I'm a survivor. Let me survive in peace. Mace Windu. Grudging respect. You've changed the order. We're revising the code. Questioning our assumptions. That's your legacy. Qui-Gon. Will I see you again? Maybe. If the Force wills it. But not soon. 2 months later. Naboo. Rebuilding. Padmé. Queen again. But changed. More assertive. More confident. Implements reforms based on Anakin's warnings. Strengthens Naboo's defenses. Forms alliances independently of the Senate. Visits with Anakin. Anakin and Shmi, staying in a private villa on Naboo. Padmé visits regularly. Friendship forms. Genuine, uncomplicated. They talk about philosophy, politics, life. The conversation. Do you still feel what you said you felt? About me? Long pause. Yes and no. I loved who you became, who you could be. But that was a different timeline. Here, you're 14 and I'm 9, and we're different people. Will you wait? Until I'm older? No. You deserve someone who loves you for who you are, not who I remember. Someone who hasn't killed you in another life. That wasn't you. That was Vader. He's always me. I'm just trying not to become him again. She takes his hand. Then don't. Be Anakin, the person who saved everything. 4 months later, new home. Far outer rim world, Varikino region of Naboo. Secluded. Simple home. Modest. Comfortable. Gardens. Workshop. Peace. Shmi. Thriving. Healthy. Happy. Is this really ours, Ani? Every inch. Paid for honesty. No crime. No blood. Anakin's life. Builds things. Droids. Tools. Gadgets teaches local children mechanics. Carefully. Meditates balancing light and dark daily. Writes in a journal. Recording his history. His lessons. Corresponds with Qui-Gon. Occasional letters. The normalcy. Market days. Village festivals. Quiet dinners. Shmi worries less each day. Anakin seems younger. More genuinely childlike. The yellow fades from his eyes permanently. Still powerful, but at peace. 6 months later. Epilogue vignettes. Qui-Gon Jinn. Training a new Padawan. Not Obi-Wan, who's now a knight. Teaches the living force with new perspective. Includes lessons on attachment, emotion, balance. The code is a guide, not a prison. Remember that. Thinks often of Anakin. Grateful, curious, hopeful. Obi-Wan Kenobi, Jedi Knight, respected, advocates for council reforms. Sometimes wonders what would have happened in the other timeline. Grateful he didn't have to lose Qui-Gon. Sends occasional messages to Anakin, rarely answered. But appreciated, Padmé Amidala finishes term as queen, becomes senator at 16, younger than in canon. Bold, effective, remembers Anakin's warnings. Advocates for clone rights, preventing clone army creation. Advocates for anti-slavery laws, occasionally visits Varakino. Their friendship, enduring, platonic, meaningful. Yoda, 900 years old, finally questioning certainty. Right, the boy was. Too rigid we have become. Change we must. Implements council reforms, allows attachment under guidance, acknowledges emotions' role, teaches balance. The order, transforming, slowly. Anakin's gift, questioning. The Republic, political instability after Palpatine. But no empire. Chancellor Valorum strengthened, not replaced. Trade Federation, dismantled. Leadership imprisoned. Jedi, more humble, more adaptive. Galaxy, uncertain but hopeful. Shmai, Skywalker, free, truly free. For the first time in her life, learns to read, explores culture, makes friends, watches her son grow again, in peace. Sometimes catches him staring at stars. What do you see out there, Ani? The future. The one we get to build ourselves. Final scene. The visitor, Varakino, Anakin's workshop. 3 years post-Naboo, Anakin physically 12, mentally 48. Knock on the door. Shmi opens. Young woman, unfamiliar. Hello, I'm looking for Anakin Skywalker. Anakin emerges. Freezes. Force signature. Powerful. Light-aligned. Young. Who are you? My name is Ahsoka Tano. Master Yoda sent me. He said you might be willing to teach me. The shock. Ahsoka. Earlier than in canon. Should be too young. But time is flexible in the Force. She's 7 years old. Already showing potential. Yoda's message. The Force brought you together once. Perhaps meant to be, it is. The decision. Why do you want me as a teacher? Master Yoda said you understand balance, light and dark. I don't want to be afraid of my emotions. I want to learn to use them. I'm not a Jedi. I won't train you in the temple. I won't follow their code. That's okay. I don't want to be just a Jedi either. Long pause. Tell Yoda. Tell him I'll consider it. But I'm not taking you as a Padawan. I'm taking you as a student. There's a difference. Ahsoka grins. I can work with that. The reflection. After Ahsoka leaves to get her things. Shmi. Are you sure? No. But maybe that's the point. In my other life I was certain. Certainty might make me wise. She hugs him. I'm proud of you, Ani. Not for saving the galaxy. For choosing to live a small life instead. Is it small? Or is it just mine? The closing. Final narration. Anakin Skywalker saved the galaxy once by becoming a monster. He saved it again by refusing to become one. In his first life he was a slave, then a Jedi, then a Sith, then a redeemed ghost. In his second life he was a slave, then a king, then a soldier, then just a person. The prophecy spoke of bringing balance to the Force. Maybe balance wasn't about destroying the Sith. Maybe it was about accepting that light and dark coexist in every being. That power without wisdom is tyranny. That strength without compassion is cruelty. That destiny is less important than choice. He was the chosen one. But in the end, he chose to be something simpler. Free. Final image. Workshop at sunset. Anakin building something. A droid. A tool. Something innocent. Shmi in the garden. Humming. Ahsoka arriving with her belongings. Nervous but determined. Stars emerging in the sky. Anakin looks up. Smiles. No yellow in his eyes. Just blue. Just human. Just alive. Last line. The Shadow King had become a shadow. The Dark Lord had become a teacher. The chosen one had become a choice. And Anakin Skywalker, for the first time in 2 lifetimes, was home. Let us know what you'd like to see next. The end.